girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just popped a Zan, 50,000 in Japan. I ain't do no plan, these red bottoms on no Vans. And she telling all her friends, I might put them on the gram. Baby girl, what you doing? Where your man? I just popped a Zan.
Hey, what's good, Dream Team? It's your boy, This is the Dream, and we're back again with another vid. Alright, so today we got another reaction quiz. We're about to react to it's My Toxic High School Relationship Part 2. Now we already seen Part 1, so this is Part 2. Let's go ahead and jump into it. And if you have a reaction quiz that you would like me to react to, all you gotta do is hit me up on my IG, on my Twitter, or just comment down below of this video. Let me know what you want me to react to next, and I got you for the next video. And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this video. But before you do, make sure you smash the like button, make sure you subscribe to your boy for more late content if you're new. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this video, guy.
So now I'm scrolling through her contacts to see if I saw any names that look familiar from school. Again, not really looking for anything incriminating. I was just honestly waiting for her to complete her investigation of my Skype account. So I'm scrolling, and then I see it. I see his name. Her ex-boyfriend.
Ooh. Number one rule. I don't think you should have any type of connection with your ex, you know what I'm saying?
The first time I ever heard the term toxic relationship was about a year or so ago, and since then it's become a pretty mainstream term. And at first, I didn't like it. I mean, it's whatever now. I guess it's a good word to describe an abusive or a dysfunctional relationship. But I feel like it does a poor job at actually communicating what it feels like to be in a relationship that one would describe as toxic. And I could be wrong. Maybe it's just me. But when I think of toxic things, I think of heavily polluted lakes or poisonous gases in the air, environments that would make you feel increasingly and consistently sicker and sicker if you were to be in them. That's not what a toxic relationship feels like. I mean, if you found your significant other to be constantly repulsive and consistently hurting you, you would have no problems leaving and forgetting all about them. No, these kinds of relationships are more akin to being addicted to hard drugs than to being thrown into a toxic lake. If things were always bad, you wouldn't stay. You stay because when things aren't bad, they feel really good. Dysfunctional relationships have a kind of fire to them that you don't really see in healthy relationships because
I definitely went through that. I definitely went through that.
Bad. And it's that contrast that makes things exciting. It's the hope for another really good day that makes you willing to stick through all the bullshit. No matter how bad it gets. But these relationships, by their very nature, are self-destructive, and eventually they implode. So when we left off at the end of the last video, which was part 1, this is part 2. Go ahead and watch part 1. I'll link to it on the screen. Check it out if you haven't seen it as yet. We were in the middle of the implosion of my toxic high school relationship. So let's pick up where we left off. Babe, it's not what you think it is. These are my friends. I wasn't trying to hide anything from you, but I know how you'd feel about this. I promise I'm not up to anything. Just read the text, see for yourself. But she just sat there in silence, furious. Eventually she turns to me and then she says, Don, I don't even know what to say to you. Babe, just get out. Just get out, just go. So that's what I did. I got out the car and went inside. But like I said in the last video, this wasn't what broke us up. After she got home, we got on the phone, talked it out, and by the end, we were both numb and emotionally drained, but still together. And we moved on from it. Kinda. But this was not out of the ordinary in our relationship. We both imposed rules on each other that came from places of insecurity and dysfunction. We were both type A personalities, very controlling, and we were young, immature, and inexperienced. And I'll be real with you, I was much worse than her. Too rich for who, y'all just got rich again. Who grips the mic and likes to kill their friends. I've never been the type to make amends. If she was at an 8, we like to. If she was at an 8, I like to make it 10.
They don't got Vegeta. Oh yeah, that's when.
I'm not sure where it came from.
When Bulma got hit.
Maybe it's just in my genes. Maybe it's because of my childhood. Maybe I just needed to grow up. But it has been a journey to get to where I am today. And even still, I feel like I have very far left to go. But somehow we made it to the end of senior year. And at the end of the year, things felt good. I remember the last time I saw her, I was sure that this was going to be the girl that I would marry one day. It was actually in the airport. This was the last time that I would see her for years, but let me back up for a second. I feel like I'm a little all over the place, so let me try and make sure that we're all on the same page. In the summer of 2011, I moved from Jamaica to America at the age of 15. I was made a junior in high school. I would turn 16 that December. In the summer of 2012, I met Taylor, who would then be my girlfriend until the summer of 2013 when we broke up. During that year that we were together, I lost my virginity to her. We met each other's family. We went to prom. We went to each other's basketball games. We broke up. We got back together. Oh, and that scene in the car where she read my Skype messages, that happened close to the end. Maybe a couple months before we broke up. So now we're back in the airport, a couple weeks before our final breakup. I was flying back to Jamaica where I would spend the summer before I moved to California, which is where I would be living for the next 4 years in college. I was going to California to pursue my dreams of becoming a professional basketball player. Taylor and I had agreed to maintain a long-distance relationship, and we were naively optimistic about the future. So there we are in the airport where we would say our last goodbyes before I moved away. And I remember telling her that I wanted her to enjoy her college experience and that I trusted her. I knew I was lying to myself, but I also knew that the way how I had been handling the relationship in regards to allowing my insecurities to cause problems was definitely not going to work for a long-distance relationship. I knew I had to be a better boyfriend if I wanted it to work. And I did want it to work. I mean, I was madly in love with this girl. I knew that I had to start trusting her. So I made it a point to start trying really hard, and I gave her my word that going forward, I was not going to be a jealous or controlling partner at all. And she said she was going to do the same for me. So we kissed goodbye. I got on the plane. And that would be the last time that I would see her in person for almost 4 years. So fast forward a couple weeks, and I'm chilling at my crib in Jamaica with my family. I can't remember anything eventful happening those first 2 weeks, mostly just watching Netflix and playing video games, but Taylor and I spoke every day. One day, Taylor and I were texting each other, and then I told her that I was going to hang out with some of my old friends. I think telling her that rekindled some dormant feelings that never quite went away after the Skype fight. So from out of what felt like nowhere, she asked me for my Skype password. Now, on one hand, I was very surprised because that was some next level shit. To ask me for my password to my Skype account, which at 17 was of course the same password that I used for everything. This was some serious invasion of privacy, and I didn't feel like I deserved it.
Alright.
But I love this girl, and I really did stop talking to my girlfriends from Jamaica after the Skype fight. It was one of the things I promised her the day of the fight. So I gave her my password because I knew for sure that there was nothing to see. So there I am, sitting at my computer, waiting to hear back from Taylor after she investigates my Skype. And it starts to take a while, like 7 minutes or so had passed, and I'm like, what the fuck is taking her so long? Now, although I was willing
bro,
to
she's investigating right now. What you mean, bro?
I thought that this was ridiculous.
I remember when I remember my ex, bro. My ex took like 2 days to go through all my social medias, bro.
Now, here's why I said it was like a joke. Because it was to my understanding that Taylor never used her Skype account. She told me way back at the start of the relationship that she had like a handful of contacts from middle school, but she never uses it now.
Bro, that's a great looking infant
in our relationship, which we would have if she used the app, but she didn't. Or at least that's what she told me. Me asking her for her password, if anything, was just an attempt to show her indirectly how crazy this was. But it didn't faze her at all, because she sent me her password with no hesitation. So there I am, just waiting, and then eventually I was like, alright, okay, I'll log into her account and see what it looks like. Again, not expecting to see anything remotely interesting. I signed into her account, and lo and behold, it was not at all what I expected. There were well over 100 contacts listed in her Skype, which was the first thing that gave me pause. Why? Because I was expecting a handful of people. I mean, I myself had like under 40 contacts, and I used the app regularly. But okay, she had a lot of context. Doesn't really mean anything. Maybe I misinterpreted what she meant by a handful of people. So now I'm scrolling through her contacts to see if I saw any names that look familiar from school.
Why you don't
Again,
pick up?
not really looking for anything incriminating. I was just honestly waiting for her to complete her investigation of my Skype account. So I'm scrolling, and then I see it. I see his name. Her ex-boyfriend. That was the second thing that threw me off, because according to Taylor, they never spoke, and she supposedly cut him out of her life after they broke up, or at least that's what she told me. So now I have to know, had Taylor been communicating with her ex? Hey man, I told y'all from the jump, this entire story is just a complete show of dysfunctional behavior on both sides. So I click on his name, and there it was, as clear as day. Within the last 2 weeks, they had Skyped twice, and my 17-year-old insecure self just didn't know how to process that. My girlfriend was Skyping her ex. Boy, did that bother me. And that's all the information I had. It didn't tell me how long the conversations were. It didn't tell me
then again,
there were no text messages going back and forth. Just 2 timestamps for the 2 video calls.
Hold on, let me pause. Let me pause real quick. But then again, okay, yeah, they Skyped, but was the conversation innocent? Like, was it innocent? Like, okay, yeah, we see that we can see that they was talking to each other, but was it all innocent? You know what I'm saying? Was it 100% innocent? I don't know. Let's keep watching. Maybe we'll find out.
Starting to get anxious. Like, I didn't know what to do with myself. So I log out of her account, and now I'm just sitting there waiting for her to text me back. Finally, she does, and of course she tells me that she's sorry for not trusting me and that this wasn't going to happen again. So then I text her back, and then I'm like, yeah, you're right. This will never happen again. Because we are done. Instantly she replies, and she's like, what do you mean? And then I tell her that while I was on her Skype account, I saw that she had been talking to her ex, and that I was able to get into the history and pull everything up. All the messages, all the
What does man think he is? An FBI agent? Like, what?
So,
a hacker?
Obviously, I was lying. Like I said earlier, I only saw that someone called somebody twice within the last 2 weeks. That's all the information I had to work with. So, I lied. Why? Because I was fishing. I knew I didn't have much to work with, but I knew I had to find out if she was talking to this behind my back, because there was no way I could do a long distance relationship without
is
knowing
that reverse?
for sure.
Is that reverse psychology?
I figured my best bet was to pretend like I saw and knew everything, and then get her to snitch on herself. And it worked. She started sending me paragraphs of text
that reverse psychology?
Explanations, apologies, and excuses, and I'm just like, holy fucking this is real. She had been talking to her ex. It wasn't until that moment that I knew for sure. So it wasn't until that moment that I really lost my shit. I then proceeded to lean into this girl, man. Oh my God, man. I went off, my G. I said the meanest, most hurtful shit that I could think of. If I had just called her a thought and left it at that, which, still terrible, that would have been me handling the situation 10 times better than I actually did. So there I am, angry, hurt, confused, but mostly angry. And there, in my state of undeserved self-righteousness, after sending several hurtful messages in an attempt to cut this poor girl down, a girl that I truly loved, I told her that I was done with the relationship and that I hope we never speak again.
Dang.
Guys, this is a video where from start to finish I'm giving you example after example
of what not to do. Yeah, I figured that.
Poorly in this relationship. Absolutely terrible. Most of the things that I do right nowadays when it comes to a relationship or talking to a girl, I learned from this one relationship. I have been in several relationships, and this one relationship probably taught me 70% of what not to do and what to do when in a relationship with a girl. That is how badly I fucked it up. It's kind of sad. I destroyed that relationship. I mean, sure, both of us played a role in the ultimate demise of the relationship, but I personally believe that I had a lot more to do with it than she did.
Dang,
so now
bro.
she's hurt and upset because of all the tough shit I said to her. So then she was like, okay, Don, if this is what you want, and if this is who you are, then I don't want a relationship either. So then I was like, fine, good, see ya. Wouldn't wanna be ya. And that was it. That was the last day that we were ever a couple. I did so many things wrong in that relationship. I made so many mistakes that unfortunately I would make again in future relationships. I mean, I don't think I was that out of pocket being upset about the fact that Taylor seemed to be getting close to her ex again. In my personal opinion, I don't think it's necessarily appropriate for a partner to be close to an ex.
That is
but
true.
I also don't think
that
that
is technically
most
true.
girls, I mean, I only date girls, so that's what I'm going to speak to. I don't think that most girls want to be close with their ex. In all honesty, I think I pushed her there with the fighting, the jealousy, the controllingness, all of that.
He definitely has a point, bro.
Farther and farther away. And of course,
he definitely has a point.
Partner, a much better person today because of these mistakes that I made when I was 17 with Taylor. I'm a lot more mindful of controlling and jealous behavior and feelings, and I'm also a lot more confident and secure in myself today than I was back then. So this kind of doesn't happen anymore. There are so many lessons that you could take away from this story, but the point that I want to focus on today is dealing with fear, because at the root of all of these problems was fear. And the funny thing about fear is that it's usually irrational, ungrounded in facts or logic. I was so afraid of somebody else coming along and gaining Taylor's love and affection, taking that away from me based on absolutely no evidence. She had never done anything to indicate that she would ever allow something like that to happen, but I still allowed myself to become afraid of this imaginary fictional threat that I made up, and it made me behave in a way that caused the exact thing that I was afraid of to come true. Do you get how that is? But if you know anything about the law of attraction, then that makes perfect sense that that would happen. You know, you focus on something negative so much, even though there's no reason to believe that negative thing would happen, it happens just because you're constantly thinking of it. So I guess what I want to ask you is to ask yourself, what decisions are you making out of fear? And it's not limited to just relationships. Maybe you want a new job. You're tired of the job you're working at, but you're afraid of that in-between period where you don't know what's going on, where you don't have a job, where you don't know where you're getting money from. Maybe you want to change majors, but you're afraid of what your friends or your parents might say because, you know, you seem to be losing focus or switching up. Maybe you want to do something that to other people seems so not you that you're afraid to do it. You know, maybe you want to be a rapper, but you've always been the quiet guy. Maybe you want to be a musician or a painter or a videographer, or you know, you want to do something that people are going to say, oh, that's not you. So you're afraid of what they're going to say. You're afraid of the rejection, so you don't do it. Whatever it is, any decision that is made out of fear, I can almost guarantee you is the wrong decision.
Dang. That was one of the best advice I have ever heard. Like, literally, bro. Like, yo, those of y'all that's watching this right now with me, bro, y'all, man, take in his words, man. These words are definitely all facts, man, all facts. You know what I'm saying? You can't not be afraid. You can't be having fear, because it's definitely gonna slow you down, and it's definitely gonna take you off course of where you really want to go. Like, yo. And bro, and that definitely indicates with relationships too. Like, yo, that's literally the most realest thing I ever heard, bro. That's literally the most realest thing I ever heard, bro. Man, Don, bro, hey man, I gotta applaud you for that, man, cause that was just straight up facts, man. I really appreciate that, man. He's speaking nothing but facts, man. That's A1, bro. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up, bro. I definitely learned a lot from this video. Definitely went through some tough relationships. Y'all know, because I even posted my worst relationship story time, bro. It's crazy. But at the same time, you know, It made me stronger in the mind. It made me become more wiser in the mind. It made me think straight. It made me see more clearly. And it makes me avoid things like that, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. That's for a fact. Anyway, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video. If you want to see the original video, I'll put the link down in the description below alongside my social media such as Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat. So go and follow me and add me on Snap. If you have reaction requests, hit me up on my IG and my Twitter, or just comment down below of this video. Let me know what you want me to react to next, or you have an idea on the next lit video. And yeah, Dream Team lit, always lit, remember, and forever be lit. And remember, don't go to sleep and dream about your dreams. Get up and chase them. Simple as that. Until the next lit video, Dizzy Dream out.